It's Pride Month and I get a lot of questions about my sexuality on Tumblr anyway, so I thought I'd make a video about my sexuality. I wasn't gonna make this video, but I saw Evan's one on demisexuality. A lot of it resonated with me and it made me kind of wish that more asexual people spoke up about their experiences, so why not start with me, even though I kind of might not be asexual, but we'll get to it. So if you don't know, asexuality is when you don't experience sexual attraction towards any gender. There are a lot of different variations of it. Evan is demisexual, which is where you are only sexually attracted to people that you have emotional connections with. I forget the name of it, but there's one where you experience sexual attraction but you have no desire to act on it, and like there's lots of different variations, but it's essentially like kind of an umbrella term for people who are not interested in sex. A lot of asexual people do have sex and enjoy sex. For some people it's just the lack of sexual attraction, but that doesn't necessarily mean the lack of a desire to have sex. Also, you can have romantic feelings towards someone without having sexual feelings for them, so that's an important difference, especially for me and my understanding of my own sexuality. It doesn't get talked about very much, which I think is a shame, because I'm pretty sure like 1% of the population is asexual, which when you think about it is a lot of people, because 1% of 7 billion is like, it's not considered a legitimate sexuality by a lot of people, which I think is a shame, because it does lead to some really quite nasty, harmful things. Evan in his video talked about having people tell him that he should just like suck it up and have sex and get used to it. And that's a terrible thing to say to somebody. It's awful. Western society is obsessed with sex. It pushes it down your throat at every opportunity. It simultaneously glorifies it and vilifies it. It's incredibly confusing and it's everywhere. And to just not get it at all and to feel completely alienated by that, it's really not easy, and it does make you feel very bad about yourself. And then to have people come to you and say you should just get over it and have sex with someone, that's obviously gonna hurt. It leads to sexual assault, like it really does. It sounds dramatic, but there's a statistic that asexual people are more likely to be raped because people think that they can fix them if they just have sex with them, which is not true. You can't fix an asexual person by just having sex with them. It doesn't work that way, and often it traumatizes them and makes them hate sex even more. When I was 15, I had a boy pressure me into doing things with him, and the excuse that he used was that he felt sorry for me that I didn't want to have sex, and I was only going to be a teenager for a couple more years and I was wasting it and there was something wrong with me and I was missing out. And he said it to me so many times that I believed it, so I started forcing myself to go along with it, and I have regretted it every day since. It has made my relationship with sex a lot worse. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, I guess let it be that you should never ever let anyone take advantage of you because of your uncertainty. If you don't want to have sex and somebody's trying to convince you that that's weird or not normal and that they can fix that for you, get far away from that person, because they don't care about you and they are not good. Because of that experience, I'm not 100% sure if I actually am asexual or if I don't like the idea of sex because I've had a negative experience with it. So like, most of my problem with sex is like the intimacy of it and the actual act of having sex. I think I might have experienced sexual attraction, which makes me think that my sort of aversion to sex was caused by this thing that happened rather than my like inherent sexuality. But then again, a lot of people at 15 are having sex, and I did not want that at all at the time. I don't experience sexual attraction very often at all. It's incredibly rare for me, so I think maybe I was already asexual and then this thing that happened freaked me out and made it worse. I'm not really sure. I'm very open to the idea that one day I'll meet someone that will make me feel comfortable with it again, but it's not a guarantee, and I think it's unfair to suggest that to anybody that says that they're asexual. Even if it's brought on by a trauma, it still doesn't mean that it's a choice or that it's something that you can necessarily change. If you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. That's not a conscious decision, and regardless of what's caused your lack of attraction, it's still a lack of attraction. You're allowed to use the term asexual even if it was brought on by a trauma. The way that asexuality is represented in the media and the way people talk about it and like the dismissal of it as a concept does make it very scary to be asexual. You know when you think someone's cute and you like imagine yourself with them? I for like 3 years have not been able to do that without first imagining the conversation where I tell them that I'm not going to be able to have sex with them. And every single time in my head they reject me and they tell me that it's something that's too important to them to give up and they don't want to be with me. I think there is a worry that if you don't want to have sex, no one's ever going to want you and you're not ever going to be enough for anyone, because you can't give them something that's seen as this big important thing. I'm pretty sure Evan said something about that in his video as well, which is why I wanted to make this video, because I think it is important to remember that 1% of the population is asexual. There are a lot more people out there that don't want to have sex than we know, because they're very unlikely to speak up about it. I just wanted to talk about it and just reassure anybody that's feeling the same way that I did when I was younger, especially. I think I've come to terms with it a lot more now, but if anybody is thinking they might be asexual and is feeling bad about it or has been taken advantage of because of it, just know that you're absolutely not alone, that it's all fine. You don't have to have sex to live a fulfilling life. It's all fine. I think that's kind of most of what I wanted to say. This was weird and like maybe a little bit more personal than I usually get, but it's happened now. Happy Pride. I hope this made somebody feel better. Or at least raised awareness a little bit, I guess. Cool, bye.